thank you for coming. Um, there are so many things I want to talk to you about, but I'm going to talk to you one thing at a time, of course. But I was thinking it might be best if we started with a brief centering meditation, right, to get ourselves here, and then we can blast off and talk about the upcoming teacher training and what's involved. And of course, there will be time for your questions. So whatever your questions are, I want you to be thinking about, oh, is she talking, is she answering my questions? Because really the purpose of our time together today is for me to give you the information you need so you can make a good choice, really an inspired choice on your own behalf. So that's really what we're all about. All right. So if you would join me now, there we go. Great. If you would join me by closing your eyes and opening your awareness to the reality of who you are, the person that you are, here and now. No matter what has happened prior to this moment, no matter what comes next in our lives, this very moment in time, each one of us is endowed with the light of life, the light of the universe, light that spans all time, and light that is especially vibrant in this very moment. The great paradox and mystery, right, is that as we stand here today, each one of us stands as a timeless being in a particular moment. Wonderful. And so for now, great. Let's bring our attention to the group, knowing that who we are and the way we are at this point in time is really perfect. Perfect for our own journey, perfect for the role we play in the whole of the world. Wonderful. So open your eyes and bring yourself into the room. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, good. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Linda Howe. I'm the leading international expert in the field of Akashic studies, specializing in the use of the Akashic Records for personal growth and transformation. Okay, I've been working in the records since 1994 exclusively. Okay, so I'm really a specialist. I'm not a generalist. And the work I do in the records is rooted in the pathway prayer process that came to me in 2001. Over the past, gosh, I hate to think of how many years, right? I have had the great honor to write a series of books, beginning with How to Read the Akashic Records, that was published in 2009, a book that really launched a movement. My fourth book will be released next week, which I have to tell you, I can't believe it, but it's true, right? And it's this book, I'm very excited. It's called Inspired Manifesting. Elevate your energy and ignite your dreams through the Akashic Records. So that'll be out next week. I also am the first person in the world to design and earn a doctorate of spiritual studies in the Akashic Records for personal growth. And I have earned that from Emerson Theological Institute. And now people like you, if you wanted to like get a master's with a focus in the Akashic Records. You could certainly do that through Emerson, and the work that you would be studying to earn that degree would be mine. So now I have to tell you, and you guys understand this, you know, when this started, I thought, this is really terrific. And my plan was, because I'm a planner, right? My plan was, I'm going to do this until it kind of dries up, till there's nothing left. That was my plan. And so here I sit, how many years later, right? And you know, it has not yet dried up. So that is good news. And it's good news for me, certainly, and it's good news for all of us. So that's really who I am and what I'm about. And so over the years, I have been given, I guess that's an interesting word to use. I have found through my own records a curriculum for transformation, right? And it is a program of personal growth, beginning with a practitioner certification in how to read the records, advanced practitioner, healing practitioner, soul's path, and then soul's purposes. There are 5 core courses in the program. What I think is really interesting, and so that's the real, like the heart of the work, right? And this particular group, I mean, you guys, and what I'm here to talk to you about today is the opportunity of Akashic leadership and service, right? Now, we all know that the world is pretty wild right now. You know, and depending on where we are, the wildness can take many, many forms. But obviously, we as spiritually awakening beings have elected to be here at this point in time. You know, it somewhere inside of you, you have the awareness that no matter what you do, you are participating in this age of remarkable change. And because you are awakening, you understand that we have some choices. And one of the choices is, will I make a positive contribution at a time like this? Or will I not? You know, will I kind of sit on the bench? So we notice that the world is up for grabs. We decided to be here to make a positive contribution. You are here actually on this call because there is some prompting in your own soul, something that is nudging you along, saying, you know, maybe you can make a positive contribution and take your place as a leader, right? Spiritual leadership, Akashic leadership. One of the other things I've discovered, and I'm sure you're aware of it as well, is that service to others is personally transformational. You know, the age of service is sacrifice and martyrdom, which, you know, we worked it. It was good. It was good for a couple thousand years. It's over. Now what we're looking at is, how can I serve the people I love and people I don't even know? How can I serve in a way that nurtures and sustains me and supports me and empowers my personal transformation? And that is the opportunity of this particular teacher training program. So one of the things I know is this is actually a very select group, right? And what it takes to get into this is you have to have the desire. I mean, you know, you have to have the desire, you have to have the interest. And because you have the desire and the interest, that means you have some natural ability. Okay, people who have no ability don't come. But here's the other thing. There's a missing link. And the missing link is not because there's something wrong, it's because who we are and where we are in the history of human evolution. And the missing link is sophisticated skills, right, in using these talents. Okay, and that's really what my work is about, right? Now, what's fascinating to me is that I understand that we are really a bridge generation, right? Like I know, my poor parents, they worried about their wayward daughter. Like, what the heck is she doing? And what's she even talking about? Right. My parents had no awareness. I mean, they had some inkling of what I might be up to, but they didn't know. Okay. So we know the generation ahead of us cannot model for us or teach us or impart to us what we need so we can be really effective in this work. What's also fascinating, I have a son who is, well, he's now 27. And some years back, he and his friends were at the kitchen table and, I'm making grilled cheese and I just keep feeding these boys, right? Anyway, and I remember at one point they said, my son turned and he said, "Why do you guys always have to talk about the light? Everybody knows the light's within. It's always been that way." And here are these boys who trust me. They're interested in food and electronics, right? And they're about to be interested in girls, but they're very clear that the light is within everyone and we should just calm down. And what occurred to me in that moment is that we are the bridge generation. And I know that, like my grandchildren, they won't take classes in this. It will be obvious. But we want to be able to use our natural talents, our gifts and abilities in a way that is constructive, effective, and of course, efficient, right? And that's where good training comes in. My personal commitment is that students, seekers of truth and light, have the opportunity to be extremely well trained, that they get the excellent training they deserve. Sometimes I get really freaked out when I hear people talk to me about what they've learned in some spiritual classes. And I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes, Anyway, but that's another story for another day. All right. So there are a few things we're going to talk about. One is this business of the teacher. What is the teacher training, right? What does it qualify you to do? So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about the requirements and the course itself. The first thing I want you to know is that the entire program is online. Whew. Okay, because of the COVID. So the certification itself, what it qualifies you to do is to train and certify students for 2 classes, practitioner and advanced practitioner. All the material in my first book, How to Read the Akashic Records. Okay. You can teach the classes in person if you like, okay, or online through Learn It Live, which is our platform, okay? Those are your options. Now, you can teach all you want. There are some people who teach all the time. There are other people who teach maybe once a year, right? I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I know that you know what's best for you and the people you serve. I know that. So I am not on your case to teach or not teach. You do what's right for you. Okay. My role is to support you in your success so that you can effectively empower others to have this connection in their own records. Okay. Now, so let's talk first about the requirements. There are 5 core courses. You can take them in person, you can take them online, recorded online with me, with a mentor, a person who will help you along, right? Or you can do live online with a certified teacher. Okay, whatever is best for you. There are different options. We used to have live classes all the time. We don't right now. Will they come back? Yes, of course. Now, I do not accept, like sometimes people say, oh, I studied how to read the records with, I don't know, whatever, with somebody I've never heard of. I don't, okay, Mindy, thank you. So I don't recognize certifications for other programs because this is specific. This is the pathway prayer process. That's the work, that's the access, and that's the curriculum, right? And it all goes together. So if you have some other access, that's not gonna, I don't accept that, okay? Anyway, so you take these 5 classes. You can register for the teacher training, whenever, as long as you are registered for the 5 classes, you understand? So if you've taken, let's say you've taken practitioner, advanced practitioner, and healing, right? And you still have to do soul's path and manifesting purposes. As long as you register for those other 2 classes, you can also register for the teacher training and get started now. Okay, that's if you want to. Now, okay, so the classes are the requirements, okay? And there's an application you have to fill out. I mean, you know that. So the elements of the class. The class is actually already running. It started in September. It'll be going through December of 21. Classes you've missed, sessions you've missed are recorded. So you have access to them. Once you register, you will have access to all the recordings whenever you need them, whenever you want, right? You'll have access, you can get in. Now, let me tell you how we do this. Once a month, and so it'll be once a month starting now, this month, January, through December. There is a monthly Q&A, meet and greet with me. So you and I have a chance to connect and to really, if you have questions about the records, you can ask me anything. Anything you need to know about from me, that's our time, right? So you can just come to it, ask your questions. All right. The other thing is that we also do every month a best practices with certified teachers. Now we have a group of people who have had all kinds of success teaching. And like this month, one of our teachers, Patty Collinsworth, will be doing the best practices. So each one of these teachers, they teach, I don't know, Patty's in Massachusetts, Amy's in Colorado, Kevin's in Canada. Different teachers have discovered, of course, different things, right, about teaching and what supports them and what's helpful. This is a chance for you to actually get to know and interact with people who are having success doing this and to learn from them. Okay, these people are here to help you. Okay, and you can bring all your questions about teaching. They will help you. They are such nice people. I just, of course, I love them. All right. So if you can't make those sessions, you can submit your questions, right? Which happens sometimes. People say, oh, I have to work or something, and they submit questions. That's just fine. All right, those sessions are all recorded. Next, we have, actually starting next week, the 14th, Thursday the 14th, it'll run for 8 weeks. I will be teaching a review of the outlines you use for teaching. I will be going over the outlines and the homework. Yes, there's homework for these classes. But as part of your training, I want to make sure you understand the flow, the energy, right? The progression of the work, how much, the way the classes, the way the outlines are set up, it's like 2 to 3 hours of work, right? And you can do that once a week, You can do it over a weekend. You can do it however you want. You can do all day, 2 Saturdays in a row. People do all kinds of things. That's just fine as long as you follow, right? As long as you follow the outlines. So there's information in the outlines, and then there are stories and guided practices. I make sure you have all of that information. Here's the thing now. You bring your own stories. You don't tell mine. I mean, my stories are my stories and your stories are yours. And so you have a chance to bring yourself to your students. Okay. The other thing I want you to know is that for the online, the live online through Learn It Live, your students will have the chance to listen to the recordings with you. But we don't resell your classes as recordings. You understand? Okay. All right. We train you on Learn It Live. I want you to be comfortable with the platform, right? It's a very nice platform. I like it. I've been with them for many years. They're good. They will help you. Okay. Now, the sessions that begin next week on the 14th, that'll be 6 to 8 Central. But here's the thing, those will also be recorded so that you can always go back to them. And of course, you can always come and ask questions. So that's a big piece of the program. Okay. Next, we have your learning experiences. Now, because you will be teaching the material in the first book, that's the focus of your training. So the first thing is we have Mark James is our student advisor with the online school. Okay. And so what happens is you will have a chance to be a homework buddy for someone who is for 2 people, one in a beginning class, one for practitioner, and one for advanced practitioner, so that you understand the homework. I mean, which you'll understand anyway. I'm not worried about you, but you understand what it is for the students and the kind of questions and concerns they have, right? Your job is not to teach them. Your job is only to be a homework person, right? This way you're in the flow. Okay, what this also means is you have recordings of me teaching the class. Okay, so you get access to that as well. Okay, so you will be a homework partner for 2 people, one practitioner, one advanced practitioner. Then the next step is you will be a mentor. A mentor is a person who's kind of in a teaching capacity, right? Kind of. Okay. It's you have responsibility, but not all the pressure of being the teacher. So here's the thing about the mentor. You work up to 3 hours with a student, up to 3 hours, no more. Okay. In that time, you will review their homework. You will learn how to look at homework for problem areas, because often in the homework, this is where we see some of the confusion that the students have. And this is our opportunity to help them, right? And then you also are available to answer questions. So if the student has a question about the records, about their work, about how to go deeper, you're their person. Okay, now listen, if you get stuck, we have all kinds of your first person is Mark James, who's a student advisor. He'll help you. Okay, so I don't want you to panic. The next person, and so you mentor for 2 students, one practitioner, one advanced practitioner. Okay, so you're growing in your understanding of the work and in your authority as a teacher. The next step is this. The next step is to work at the level of group, right? And for this, we have the book club study. At the back of the first book, there is a book club study. It's got some questions. It's really, the idea is that, well, there's 2 ideas. First of all, you will have a book club study that'll meet 4 weeks, 1 hour each. at your whatever time you want to do it. I don't care. You do it Tuesday nights, you can do it Saturday mornings, you can do it Sunday afternoons. That's up to you. 4 weeks in a row. You need to have at least 3 people in it. Okay. I think the fee is like $25 so that we can pay for the whatever you call it, the tech, right? But here's the thing. In the book club study, you have a chance to be with people as a semi-authority, right? So you're comfortable with people who are on the quest. Now, I know a lot of you are comfortable in other disciplines, but not in this. So you get comfortable with that. You learn about their curiosities, their questions, right? It's very, very interesting. And there's no pressure on you because you're not yet a teacher. Whew. Okay. So if somebody's really giving you the business, which we know can happen, you can just be very gracious. I'm sorry, I'm not a teacher. I will consult and get back to you. Okay. Because we want to make sure our students, that we want to make sure people get good information. Okay. And I know sometimes when we're in the clutch, we panic. We forget our own names. Okay. Which is fine. To do this book club study, Cindy Walden, who is our teacher advisor, will work with you. She will help you learn how to do Learn It Live. She will help you get set up. Okay. What happens is that monthly, Cindy Walden gives, what do you call this? A checklist to find out where you're at, what you're doing. Because I know sometimes with independent studies, you think, oh, everything's fine, I'll get to it later. And you wake up and it's 2 weeks before the program, it's Christmas 21 and you don't know where the year went. Yeah, that's not going to help, right? So what we want to do is help you stay on track. And Cindy Walden will help you, okay? She'll help you do that. And she will be with you, or another certified teacher will be with you in your first, and if you need it, for your first book club session. Now, it may be that you are just cooking away. You don't need somebody there. She won't come back. Okay. It's just, if you need the support, it's there for you. That's your call, right? We don't want to bug you, but I want you to know it's here for you. Now, what do I want to tell you about? Okay. The other thing is, so once you're certified, right? So then you can teach practitioner and advanced practitioner and issue certificates. So your students, if one of your students comes and says, I want to take the teacher training, right? I've got certificates from Alejandro. And I say, great, you come right on in. But if they have certificates from someone I've never heard of, I'm sorry, you can't come in. Okay. Now, once you're certified, okay, so you can teach these 2 classes live in person, or in person or live online, right? Every year there's continuing education, because I want to make sure. I had a very interesting experience, scared the heck out of me. I went to a class in Edmonton, Canada. And there was a woman in the class. It was a manifesting class. And there was a woman in the class who had taken a beginning class in 2011. Okay, so that was a few years back. And when she was talking, I realized that her learning was not current. Now, there are not dramatic changes in the records. There just aren't. However, we keep learning more and growing, and our understanding expands. And so, like this woman kept talking about, oh, the energy is so great. Well, in 2011, the energy was news. It was news. It was like a breaking news, hot flash, right? But, in 2019, it was no longer a shock, right? There is more than just the energy. It was like, okay, great. We're vibing to the energy. Now what? And so at that point, I really learned that I have a responsibility to make sure everybody's current. Okay, so we do annually. It's not a big deal. It's 2 hours. It's whatever you call it. It's online, of course. The fee is $300 and it's included in your registration for the first year. So don't worry about it. And then the other thing is that once you're certified, you need to be on the website, right? So you put your picture up and your profile and like that. And that is $500 a year, but it's included in your tuition, right, for your first year. After 1 year, after you've been teaching for a year, you qualify to take the next class up, right, which is to be an advanced certified teacher. And at that point, you can teach the healing class. Okay. And then the one beyond that is elite certified. Okay. So we have a couple of different levels, right? Which is just fine. Some people find that they just love teaching the healing class and they're not interested in classes beyond that. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to find your best place to be, right? And what you want to share. And so anyways, just so you know that. Okay. Now, the other thing is on the Learn It Live platform, we also offer enrichment classes. Now, these enrichment classes are fascinating. I understand that people who are deep in the records often find, what they understand is their own vein of gold, something in the records that really is so important to them. Okay, we have one teacher who does astrology in the records, right? And tarot in the records. I mean, there are, and whatever you call it, I can't think, dealing with crisis, right? Very popular topic in the last year. You can develop your own work. We have somebody, a gal in Texas, who is very much involved in earth changes and the consciousness of the planet through the records, right? And she's working on a class that she'll offer in the enrichment program. So that if you have some of these outside interests, there is a forum for you to offer that to an audience that is already trained in the Akashic Records and the pathway prayer process. And so you can do that, right? Those don't count towards certification, like for a teacher training. However, they're really important. I know that, and you know that. So if that's your thing, it's available to you. Just so you know, we do promote the platform. Learn It Live is international. And so what happens in the course of life, right? So we promote internationally, and it is quite common for our teachers to have students from all over the world. Okay. But, so that's just how that is. And it's very exciting, right? Very, very exciting. So, I'm trying to think of what else. So what questions? Okay, so here's the other thing. Payment. The payment for the class, right? It's the classes, the core classes are separate, right? That's a separate thing. The payment for the class is $3,997. Okay. Now, I know some people have said, oh my God, what about the payment plan? PayPal has a payment plan. Okay. I don't have that, I don't have a whole accounting staff who can work that out with people, but PayPal does. And so we let them. Okay. So you can work out a payment thing with them. The other thing I want you to know is that so today is the 6th, right? If you decided you want to go ahead with this, you can register. If you register between today and tomorrow, the 6th and the 7th, until 5 p.m. Central, on the 7th, once you would register and pay, we will give you a rebate of $150. So that's, anyway. Now, I'm trying to think of what else to tell you. Oh, so what questions do you guys have? Does it, you know what else? One of the classes is manifesting, right? It's the 5th class in the progression. I will be teaching manifesting live online beginning the first Wednesday in February. Okay, so let's say you need the manifesting class. You can still register for the teacher training, just register for the manifesting class. This manifesting class is really, I think it's really, it's exciting. Anyway, it's based on my new book. And in this class, so we'll meet once a week, right, for 2 hours. You will have homework partners. We have a homework session that is not recorded every Saturday, so that if you want to come and, get some insight and guidance with the homework, you can do that. You will also have a chance to meet with some certified teachers, right? There's also a chat feature, so that, let's say you're walking around and you're like, I don't know about this, right? You send me a question and I answer it. Okay, you got to give me 24 hours, but mostly, I live to answer questions. So that's not a problem at all. But it's a great way for you to get your questions answered. And it's a great way to share, like when you're in a classroom with a teacher, a student will ask a question and everyone hears the answer. That's the benefit of the chat feature. So just so you know, that's part of the program. If you have any questions, of course, you can just send them to linda@lindahowe.com. I'm happy to answer your questions. Go to the website, right, lindahowe.com, and look up the teacher training. It's got everything is mapped out. I mean, there's a lot of information, and I've tried to present it in as simple a way as possible. And really, the person who knows what's best for you is you, right? And you have a sense, right, of what's possible. Do not deprive yourself of the opportunity for the best training you can get. In this spiritual work, we all love people and we all want to be helpful. If we don't know what we're doing, we can really hurt people and hurt ourselves. We don't want to do that. We want to empower. We want our people to flourish. We want to be fulfilled in our service. And so don't deprive yourself of the critical need for valuable training. Once you are trained, it's like driving a car. Once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. You will have it. It is a training no one can take from you. It's yours, and you will be able to use it in ways to make a positive, measurable difference in the lives of people you love and even people you barely know. So thank you very much for coming. I love you. Happy New Year. And thank goodness it's 2021. Right? Thank you. Thank you, my darlings.